Hello everyone, welcome to Artistically Married, where art and opportunity collide. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman.
And Brianne Steinberg.
Yeah, so we just finished our annual Jake Stock.
Yeah.
Which was another amazing weekend, another great Jake Stock. I was just trying to think, is it the 12th year? Because I think Annabelle was a baby during the third Jake Stock.
Huh.
You remember that?
No, this was our 10th year.
We probably missed a couple during COVID. That's what I was thinking. No?
No.
We did every year?
Yeah. The first one was Anna, Anna was in the making.
Oh, so she was there in the second.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was 6
10.
months at the second.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Katie Gatta played. She did a wonderful set in the afternoon.
Oh, so great. And then we had John Maiano. He was our DJ for the night.
Yeah, awesome as well.
So yeah, we had some great live music. And then, just friends and family coming from out of town. Shout out to our Jake's family who comes from out west to come celebrate with us. Our friends from Toronto that come down to spend the weekend, and everybody local also that joined in all the fun. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We are just coming off of Jake Stock weekend, like Jacob said. But when you guys hear this, we're actually going to be, I was just looking at the calendar, and we're actually going to be in Machu Picchu when you guys are listening to this on the Sunday.
Come on.
Yeah. So cool. So we thought it would be fun to kind of do an introductory episode to our trip in Peru. We also are trying to give ourselves some grace for the first couple of weeks of being there. The first week, we're going to get into like the 5 major spots that we're hanging out in Peru. But yeah, our first week, we're stationed in Cusco, and then we have some kind of like a lot of travel to do. So we're trying to give ourselves some grace to have the first 2 weeks off, and then definitely we'll catch up with you guys the third week of August and kind of give you an update on all the stuff we're doing. Also really encourage you guys, if you're interested in following along in our adventures and all the things we're talking about today, to follow us on YouTube. We just got our YouTube channel started and we're working on all our drone stuff, but we'll really start working on that more heavily once we get into Peru. Yeah,
we're going to try and do some shorts and things like that and just get some videos out as we go along. And we'll be podcasting as well. It'll be some lower tech recording, but I think we have it all worked out, and it should be good.
Yeah.
Get a couple episodes like live from Peru, or not live, but in Peru.
Yeah, recorded in Peru, totally.
And so this episode, we're not really sure what to expect, but we have some ideas of what we're going to go see and kind of the things that are going to be there. So
the monumental stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this will kind of just give you guys an introductory on, like I said, the 5 main places that we are going to stay when we are in Peru for the month. And then, hopefully you can follow us along, add us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and then you'll be able to kind of stay up to date with all the visuals of what we're going to check out in Peru on our month-long trip. Cool. Want to start?
Sure.
Oh, no, I'm starting. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So, like I mentioned before, our first stop is in Cusco. So we actually kind of made the diplomatic decision to not stop in Lima. And it's for the best because I guess there's having some like political unrest going on in Lima. So they're kind of recommending people don't try to fly in there just because flights are getting canceled and the airport's getting... again, I don't think it's anything like dangerous. It's more just, it's peaceful protesting that's happening in Lima. So anyways, we decided to fly right into Cusco because that's going to cut down on like an extra flight or travel time from Lima to Cusco.
There was talk about doing a bus. There are some cool sites all the way from
Lima to Cusco,
which is about a 22-hour trek.
Yeah,
but
so that just would have been
Nazca so long. Yeah, we're missing the Nazca lines. We're missing that desert oasis place.
Huacachino. Yeah.
But really, Cusco was the sites that I was really excited to see.
Mm-hmm.
So there is plenty to see in the amount of time that we'll be there, and I'm sure we are going to miss hundreds of sites even with
still,
with our
even being there for a
itinerary.
month. Yeah. So we're spending a full week in Cusco. They think that it was kind of the capital of the Inca Empire. They say that it's the heart of the Inca civilization. The direct translation is the navel of the world. And in its layout, it was designed to resemble a puma. So a puma, I guess, is a sacred animal in the Inca culture. It's considered a symbol of strength and power. So the three main animals that you see in the Inca civilization, or the documentation of it, is the condor, and it represented the heavens. The puma was representing of the earthly bodies, and snake was the representation of the underworld.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why are we so interested in going to Cusco?
So we are going to Cusco to see the incredible Inca stonework. So, and I would even say it is probably pre-Inca stonework, and as a lot of modern archaeologists will say, that it is probably a civilization before the Inca that constructed this, because there's two very different styles of construction that both get attributed to the Inca. So they are known, especially Sacsayhuamán, where we're going. They're known
That's
for
our
these
first stop, almost. Yeah.
massive stones, up to 100 tons or more, and they are just cut so precisely that they fit together perfectly without any gaps. No mortar was used in the construction of the walls. They've lasted for over 3,500 years, is like the young estimate of the date that they were constructed.
That's crazy.
And people have said anywhere up to 36,000 years ago. So they could have been here for a long time.
Right.
But they're cut so perfectly, and what makes it even more mind-blowing is that everything is a curve. Everything is rounded. There's no straight lines in their masonry, which if you look at any modern day brick wall, we use rectangles because they stack easily, right?
Right.
Where every stone is its own perfect shape, almost like a cob of corn, and they all fit together perfectly, which has made them earthquake proof over the years.
So cool.
And yeah, so Cusco is it's the starting point of the famous Inca Trail, and the trek to Machu Picchu. So that's where travelers go to acclimate to the altitude before their mountain hiking adventures.
Yeah, and that's also just because like it is a city center, right? Like the culture, the festivals that happen within Cusco, and the cultures, like the local markets. There's the San Pedro market, the San Blas market. They're just like bustling areas. So I think this also makes sense for it to be kind of a meeting point or a starting point to a lot of the different excursions and sites that are around that are a little more difficult to get to. A lot of them are like, I mean, we're going to talk about the altitude specifically, but like it's all mountainous, right? So we know as Canadians, like anytime like you're in the Rockies in BC, one location to the next is just insane to try to get to, right? You're looking on a map, you're like, oh yeah, this looks like, 20 minutes away. No, it takes you 6 hours because you got to go up and down mountains to get there.
Yeah, all winding switchbacks and back and forth roads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're really nervous about renting a car and driving because of the driving that might be in there. But yeah, so Cusco is really cool because it is like a big city center. Yeah, like I mentioned, there's lots of different festivals. The most famous one is the Festival of the Sun, and it happens in June. Unfortunately, we were going to be there too late, but yeah, lots of colorful costumes, music, dancing. And yeah, apparently, I mean, a lot of like the city center, it's Plaza del Armas is that main. We're going to talk about this in terms of the symbolism and the strength that's supposed to be in that plaza, because they did then like later on in the Spanish acquisition, they started to kind of build on top of these ancient blocks, right? So you kind of see like 3 time periods throughout Cusco. You see these like ancient blocks, and then you see the blocks on top, and then even past that, now they have like kind of like the metal and wooden architecture that would have been in like the 1800s. So yeah, it's a really big bustling place where people usually come before they go off to Machu Picchu or yeah, Sacsayhuamán's like in the head of it, or like the outskirts of the city. But yeah, I'm really excited about all the market shopping and festivals and all the stuff that happens right in that main plaza.
Yeah. Cusco is an amazing blend of Inca or ancient Incan and Spanish architecture.
Yeah.
So even the entire city of Cusco is basically like a megalithic city almost. A lot of the buildings are still built on these megalithic Incan foundations, and you'll just have modern day stores and fast food restaurants and things just built on
right
top of this,
of it. Mm-hmm.
this ancient structure. And so the Santo Domingo Church is built on top of the Incan Temple of the Sun, the Coricancha. So you have a church that is a Catholic church built on top of like a previous Incan temple, which is very
it's colonial
interesting.
On top, yeah.
But again, because these stones are so well fit and so well put together, they have just stood the test of time. So people just use them rather than pouring new concrete. Everything is built on top of this ancient masonry.
Right.
And yeah, the city is just surrounded by epic ruins. Like there are ruins everywhere. Like I said, even all the foundations in the actual city itself are still ruins of ancient cities.
Yep.
So yeah, there's sites like Sacsayhuamán, there's Kenko, Puka Pucara, and Tambo Mache. They each have their own unique history, and everybody attributes their own spiritual meanings to them.
I thought it was cool too. I got the same kind of like when you're looking at the sites, you're looking at the ruin sites. It's really interesting because it kind of just looks like it's like footprint, right? Like you said, it looks like it's all just foundation. But when we were in Chichen Itza and like some of the buildings in Mexico, you know, we were always thinking like, oh, the roofs were probably like thatched palms, right? Like all the rooftop stuff is usually done in like natural, like wood foliage or flora. So you kind of just get these like footprint of like what the walls would have looked like, and then the usually the roof tops would have been made of like wood or bamboo or something, you know, like lots of different things that they use in different civilizations. But I think early rooftops would have just been, you know, made out of something that ended up decaying over the years, and just the stones stay.
That is very possible, but that's also something that people have said is that it's just so old and so ancient. There is a lot of evidence of probably intentional destruction or even surviving like cataclysm and things like that.
Yeah.
Some of the sites, when they found them, there's literally just scattered blocks, and these blocks are like unliftable by groups of humans, and they're just scattered everywhere. So it's like somebody must have just destroyed this, or there was some kind of event that just
I guess
to move things
demolition would have been, but there's still so much that like remains the same.
So it's really hard to say.
Yeah.
The archaeology is not as cut and dry as a lot of other places. It really is a big mystery of what happened and how it was. And sure, maybe it was just wood roofs and it all kind of eroded away.
Deteriorated, yeah.
But even when you look at
wood wouldn't last forever.
When you look at the walls of these structures, you can't really think of what they were trying to do with it.
Right.
They don't make sense.
No, I know. People like they were temples, they were gardens, they were places of worship, they were, you know, living places. But yeah, you just can't wrap your head around how their lifestyle would have looked, right? What were they doing? What were they interested in, you know? Did they even have stomachs? No, I don't. Where's the restaurants at? All right, which brings us to our next point. I'm really excited about it. The kids are too, about all the different it's my favorite thing to do when we travel is to eat different culture, eat different food, eat different cuisines. Yeah. Eat different cultures. Whatever. It's been a long weekend. Eat different cuisines, right? Like they're so in Cusco, they're famous for alpaca meat because their alpacas are a really prevalent species there. There is some lakes and stuff. I mean, they're few and far between there. Rivers. There's what was the river we were just reading about?
Oh, the Urubamba.
Urubamba, yeah. So yeah, trout's really popular there. Guinea pig. Are you gonna eat guinea pig?
I mean, if it's cooked, I'll eat it.
I feel like it's like eating squirrel here.
Yeah, I think so.
Yuck. But yeah, I'm sure we're gonna try it. There's a famous drink called morado, which is
chicha morada.
Oh yeah, chicha morado. Yeah, morado means purple.
Yeah.
Chicha is probably corn, so it's a purple corn drink. And then their famous cocktail is pisco sour.
Yeah. Yeah, pisco is like a grape liquor.
Oh.
Like
a
liquor
wine?
made with but it's a liquor. You would, I guess, press wine in the first place, but then you distill it into pure alcohol, right? And then make your liquor out of that.
Right. I feel like we went to that Dylan's distillery tour, and they kind of said that, right? They're like, oh, we get all the old wine, and they just take the alcohol out of the wine. And then they make their gin out of it.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, and the altitude, we've kind of just mentioned it, but yeah, it's 11,200 feet above sea level, 3,400 meters.
Very high.
Yeah, very, very high. I am definitely the most paranoid for all of us that we're going to get altitude sickness.
Yeah, we've talked to a lot of people that have gone there, and we've heard a number of different
they
things.
were sick.
Not all of them. Some people don't have any effects. Some people say they get a headache. Some people say they're sick for 4 days. So we're really not sure what to expect. But yeah, they say the coca tea helps.
Yeah.
And there's a number of other things we can do to kind of prevent it.
Can't give it to the kids.
There are some medications, but I don't think we're going to go that route.
We are not medication people. No, I talked to our wonderful Airbnb guest, and she said that she's going to get us an oxygen treatment the second day we're there. They'll come right to our apartment and do it. Cool. Yeah, and I didn't even really get into this. I just we were prepping for this podcast, and I started reading about it. And I think it's common to go. I mean, even in North America, you know, you tap into some of these indigenous populations, and part of the like deep culture will always be at the heart of it. It'll always be something that like reminds me of naturists or paganism, you know, where they're like worshiping the sun and the moon and the stars and the astrology. So I think this is just really prevalent in Cusco because it's still pretty untouched. Even though like, you know, it's been the Spanish acquisition was, let's say, what, like 300 years ago?
Yeah, they still have,
years ago?
There's, they say they're the Quechua people.
Quechua?
Yeah. So that's still
they're still the ones that are like practicing shamanism and spiritual guidance.
They have their own practices, but
yoga,
it's also
healing.
It's weirdly intermingled with Catholicism as well.
Yeah. You know what? I had the same experience when I was in Korea. You could tell like it was like a lot of like Tibetan Buddhism meets what is it? Freeland Buddhism. But then there was this whole like, because you know it gets acquired or it gets conquered by like another group of people that come in. So I think, the Catholicism was by the Spanish acquisition that happened, maybe 500 years ago. But there's still this really like spiritual vibe that happens that's really discussed and practiced. And the ancient history is really celebrated in Cusco specifically. And they think it's so cool. And I was talking about this, like we were talking off air about it, just being like surrounded by mountains. And they call them like the sacred mountains or the Apus. Again, it just becomes like this like meeting point of like, you know, people coming together to celebrate, because otherwise you're so spread out in the mountains. Like it's crazy. Yeah. I like the name for Mother Earth too, the Pachamama. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. It's just this like, you know, tapping into nature and energy. And I think it's going to be fun. I think the ancient culture that's there too is going to be really exciting for us. Definitely. Well, Peru is also known for their ayahuasca ceremonies in the Amazon, and they have their curanderos and the people that facilitate that. So they have this, thousands and thousands year old spiritual traditions. Yeah. All their ceremonies, even just like all the pilgrimages, like the treks that you can do from one place to another, like, you know, walking from one sacred place to the other. Are you going to do ayahuasca? Well, I don't think so, but who knows? Yeah, who knows? I thought it was more an Amazon thing. I don't think those specific things grow in the mountains, but it's just a plant. It's like a plant you eat. It's a vine and another plant, and they make a tea out of it. Oh, okay. And they said like literally the odds of picking those two plants are like 1,000,000 to 1, because that they would put them together. That both would have worked. Leave it to humans to find a way to get. Well, they say when how they figured it out, they say the plants told them. Oh, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. I feel that anytime I'm walking, we did that whole episode on like being in nature, and like if you're just quiet enough and you're by yourself, you're like, am I just thinking of these ideas, or it was again that like parapsychology, right? Or like the trees talking to me right now? Like, why is that so crazy to people? I don't get it. I don't
Yeah.
understand why people think that's such a crazy thing for like the
Well, I
environment
think
around you to talk to you.
it just doesn't happen on our day-to-day basis because
We're not listening.
we're not involved. I remember hearing this story about a guy who he just moved out into the woods, and he said it took him like multiple years of living there, and then he said something like that, like all of a sudden the forest started to talk to me or something, but he's like, I just had to be there for so long
Right, to
for
hear
that
it.
to happen.
Yeah, to tune in, right? Like I loved the story about not a story, but like the science behind what we see. So like you have a certain, everybody knows they see like the rainbow. We see Roy G. Biv, and that's the only light spectrum that our eyes can pick up. So I think it's the same type of thing. It's that if you see something that's like a little bit out of your, your sight perspective, you're like, oh, what was that? Like sometimes they describe that as like people thinking there's like, spirits in the room or something, that it's just above or below. So like you can kind of see it, but then you can't. So your brain just starts to process. But I think it just comes into like tuning into those senses in the parts of your brain that are like turned off. Right. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be around people that kind of have a stronger sense of this belief system, because here, if you go tell people that, you're listening, oh, the tree told me, like you're going to get that pushback from the rest of the culture that thinks you're insane. You're a mental person.
Yeah.
Whereas when you start surrounding yourself, it's not just the fact that you're surrounding yourself with the outdoors and the nature. You're surrounding yourself with people that have that strength in the belief system that aren't going to think you're crazy. In fact, they can teach you maybe how to tune into it. They can teach you some traditions that'll, ceremonially get into those places and get into that headspace.
Yeah, so that's something that's very interesting about being in an ancient city. Cusco is this ancient megalithic city, and they say something about being in an ancient city like that just brings that old world like back around, and it keeps it present there, and just whatever history has passed, just those stones still being there, and everybody seeing that and feeling it, and it just being there for that long,
right?
It sticks with you, where when it all gets destroyed and built over, you kind of lose that and it goes away. So yeah, we are going to see Sacsayhuamán, which is the temple at the top of the mountain. It's at like 12,000 foot elevation.
Right.
And it's an Incan engineering marvel. And again, I would probably say that this is a pre-Incan marvel.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you can see the difference in building and time period. Why would you do that if you could do that?
Yeah. The Incan stuff kind of looks like stacked stones with mortar.
Yep.
And Sacsayhuamán is just these like 4 times the height of you, like just gigantic stones that are perfectly fit.
Yeah, some of them are over 100 tons. Like,
yes,
it's crazy. We wouldn't even know if somebody asked you to move it right now. You couldn't.
Yeah,
with the biggest crane. How would you get the crane up there first of all, and then how would you move it?
The site is pretty much destroyed, so it's hard to see what it was. But basically, the stones that couldn't be moved are the ones that are still there. Yeah, and there is many there still.
Yeah, so Sacsayhuamán is like we're staying in Cusco. And we're kind of right between Plaza del Armas and Sacsayhuamán. We can walk to either one of them. So what they said happened was that whoever came in after these ancient megalithics, they took all the ones that they could move, and they started building in Cusco with it.
Yeah.
So you kind of, but still when you look at it aerially, you can see the outline of the puma. So like the head is Sacsayhuamán, and then you're going to talk about this, right? Like the teeth of the Puma.
So they call it a fortress, but the fortress features 3 massive zigzagging walls, which is really interesting to see. And again, it's kind of hard to understand why they would have done that.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a tactical military strategy, or maybe it is just beautiful. Like
it's sacred, and the idea behind them making this giant puma shape.
Yeah. So
they say that
Sacsayhuamán was like the head of the puma in, I guess, the shape of the city.
Yeah.
So this would have been like the teeth of the puma, and this fortress is just absolutely massive. They say it's been built over centuries. So it was attributed to Pachacuti, who was an emperor who expanded the Incan Empire in the 15th century. But evidence suggests that construction began long before that. And that's kind of the way I lean, is that this is much, much, much older. Yeah,
my guess is that the Inca actually found these foundations and then started building on top of them.
Totally.
So it was like a pre-Inca civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as modern archaeology likes to think that history was like a linear progression where we started like cavemen and then slowly evolved over time and then grew to the civilization we have now.
That might be just like this, this time period story.
Yeah. So there's other people who are doing a lot of research in this area, and they're kind of considered pseudo-archaeology by the mainstream, but I think the work they're doing is much better and much more involved than even most of the actual archaeologists. And I guess guys like Graham Hancock, who I guess is more of a journalist, but he's kind of bringing this stuff to light.
What's the what was that show we watched, and it was talking about a lot of these like pre-ancient civilization?
Yeah, that was Ancient Apocalypse. With
Ancient Apocalypse,
Graham
yeah. If you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, definitely check that out on Netflix.
But anyways, the mainstream view of how this was created was with no iron tools, no understanding of the wheel. Everything was just moved with sheer manpower and ropes, and like they say they didn't even have pack animals. They didn't understand that they could like
organize
tame an animal and get it to do work.
The stuff, yeah.
So, and then when you look at these stones that are hundreds of tons, like it doesn't make any sense.
No.
You had to have somebody with very advanced knowledge, especially of stone cuttings. Like when stonemasons look at this place, it blows their mind. Like they cannot believe that this is even there and that this is that old, because they're like, this would be hard to replicate today. And it's not like it's limestone or something like that. This is like very, very hard volcanic rock.
Yeah. Yeah, again, like it's funny when somebody gives you that kind of an explanation. Like even our children are 5 and 9 and they're like, yeah, right. Like, no, that's incorrect. And I mean, we did that episode all on, lifting heavy things and cranes and the evolution of cranes. And I think, we have to just open up our minds and be more specific and more intentional in our understanding, and, be open to the fact that somebody was like making vibrations that could lift things that were 100 tons. Like, I don't understand why this is crazy.
Maybe they had better cranes than we do now.
Right, exactly. That's less crazy to me than trying to say that it was, stacking logs and rolling these things with thousands of men. Like, no.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. So, yeah, you had mentioned this before, but the Spanish conquest sorry.
That's something I didn't bring up, but there's people that are the masonry is so mind-blowing that they think that they actually softened the stone somehow and basically made them squish together like marshmallows, and then they let them like harden back in place because it doesn't look like you can tell it's rock. It's not a poured concrete. It's still a stone, but they think maybe somehow they had this way that they could soften them and then squish them together. So I don't typically go along with that one, but it's a really interesting idea. Yeah.
If you had like some liquid substance that could maybe like soften them, and then when they put up together, that would make sense why they were round, and it would also make sense why the precision in the fitting, right? How they like fit so perfectly. So if they are expanding back together and they were kind of grooving into each other, that would kind of make sense why they were like so tight.
Yeah. For me as a tradesman, I just think they were masters of their craft, and they had better tools than we do, or just as good.
And we can even understand.
And they just
laser
knew exactly
cutting.
what they were doing. They knew how to map every curve and fit the next one with the opposite curve just to fit tightly together. And they were just master engineers, and they've stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm. So we talked about this before, but the Spanish conquest saw lots of Sacsayhuamán, which would have been like the head of the Puma, moved into town. So there's lots of sites like within Cusco that they figure they kind of took the lighter ones or the smaller ones from Sacsayhuamán and then used them as foundations throughout the town, throughout the city.
Yeah.
There's also some, because it's like really high up on the city, and there's like definitely like from Cristo Blanco, which is also like one of the sites with like a statue, and from Sacsayhuamán, it's a really what's the word for it? But it looks strategic. Like it looks like it's a nice viewpoint where you can kind of see anyone that would have been coming into town. So they also think that it could have been like a strategic military position. that they would have been using to like defend the city as like a military fortress. When people were coming in, they would kind of get the first view of people coming into town.
Yeah, like it's right at the top
Easy to
of
defend.
Cusco.
Yeah.
Cusco is like typically at 11,000 feet, and Sacsayhuamán is like 12,100 feet.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
The place we're
it's at the
staying is
top.
like somewhere in between that.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a lot of upward walking the first week we're
Well,
there.
you have no choice. You're
Yeah,
either
yeah.
going really fast downhill or you're climbing
really
up.
Yeah, exactly. They need one of those like chairs at the bottom. You know, you can sit on the chair and it'll like lift you
I
up.
wonder if a lot of people ride bikes there. I feel like that'd be
Hell
pretty
no.
hard.
There's no way. I know. I was thinking that you can rent like you can rent motorbikes, but I'm like our place we can't even get our bike up to like where we're staying. Like we're literally situated in the side of the hill between Sacsayhuamán and Cristo Blanco.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Sacsayhuamán is one of the top archaeological sites in Peru, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I have just heard about this place from so many podcasts, so I'm very, very excited to hopefully touch these stones with my hands. And that's why I was a little disappointed when we went to Chichen Itza. I wasn't allowed to touch anything.
And you're going to feel the same about Machu Picchu.
I know, Machu Picchu will be the same. It's all going to be
touch
roped
anything.
off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which again, they're protecting the history of it, right? Like they are looking to protect it so that people aren't doing more destruction.
I completely understand. And when something gets like that popular, even trying to get a ticket for Machu Picchu is ridiculous.
Yeah, we had to get our tickets 6 months. They're like all sold out for the whole entire summer.
Yeah.
I think they are. It looks like they are slowing it down though. Even just like the regular foot traffic and being protected, it looks like it's suffering some damage just from like so many visitors, right?
Yeah.
They think that walking around the site is making the rocks like kind of tip inwards, I guess. So they're slowing down traffic and they're only allowing like 50% of what they were allowing per day. So yeah, we're lucky that we got our tickets 6 months ago, and now we couldn't get a ticket if we tried. That's great. We're excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so from after Cusco and Sacsayhuamán, we're headed to Ausangate.
Is that the next stop?
Yeah. Well, we're actually stopping halfway in
Or are we
Yurkos.
doing Machu Picchu first?
No, we're in Yurkos and Ausangate, Rainbow Mountain.
Oh, so we're doing Machu Picchu at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even though. Almost right in the
Like
middle of our month.
okay.
Yeah, right in the middle of the month.
Oh, right,
like I
like you
said.
said,
Yeah.
yeah.
When you guys are listening to this, we're on the hike to Machu Picchu.
Cool.
At 8 a.m. we'll be on the bus.
Yep.
On our way up. Yeah. So yeah, after Cusco, we're headed to Ausangate. So Ausangate stands tall at 6,000 meters, so 20,000 feet above sea level. So they actually, it's funny because people are like, you need to go to Lima to acclimate for Cusco, and then you need to go to Cusco to acclimate for Ausangate.
Yeah, Lima's only like 500 feet above sea level.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe 200 feet above Niagara Falls. Like that's
you
not much.
can walk to the beach there.
Yeah.
So Ausangate is the 5th highest mountain in Peru and a dominant presence within that mountain range. And yeah, it's really close to Rainbow Mountain, which we're gonna do. Oh yeah, this is switch me papers. I had a whole bunch of fun stuff to talk about with Rainbow Mountain, all the minerals. Unless you want to do it.
It's whatever.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I was writing this because you were supposed to talk about it.
Okay.
Do you want to do it? All the layers of Rainbow Mountain?
Sure.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Well, yeah. So Ausangate close to Rainbow Mountain, and
Rainbow Mountain's actually on the way to Ausangate.
Yeah, and it's a famous mountain, and it's known for its multicolored mineral stripes, which is a really cool sight. Most of the pictures that you see on the internet of Rainbow Mountain are modified with a filter to bring out the colors, and that's totally fine. But when you're there, you can still see the clear colored stripes like of the mountain, which is really, really cool.
I'm really excited to use the drone for that.
And I think it's pretty dry there, but if it does rain too, it really brings out the colors.
Yeah, all the minerals.
But yeah, it has a bunch of different minerals of the stripes. So the red or orangish color is iron. The yellow is iron oxide or sulfide.
Blue?
Is that a G?
Yep.
It's
G
a
for
6.
green.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a 6.
Yeah.
The 6 is for what?
Chlorite and phyllite.
Yep.
B is
Blue.
blue.
Yeah.
Goethite, copper oxide.
Yeah,
Interesting.
goethite. I've never heard of that. I was hoping we could touch base with our geology friends up north and ask them about that.
The brown is sandstone and the white is quartz rose or calcium. That makes sense. Quartz.
Yeah.
Or rose quartz.
Yeah, it
maybe.
looks like kind of pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And purple is manganese. So it'll be really interesting. Again, like we're trying to learn about these places before we go, so we have an idea, but it'll be really interesting to hear kind of how the geology was created that way.
Yeah, how did it happen like
what
that?
formed
Like, why
these
was there
magical
layers?
stripes? Yeah.
It's like the layers happen like the way you typically see them, like horizontally. It looks like they've happened vertically.
Yeah.
So maybe they were like, it was stacking this way and it tipped over, or the mountain. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to kind of hear all the stories about how things happen, because I feel like it was like that in Asia too. We'd have all these theories here in Canada, and then when I went there, they're like, no, that's totally wrong. You know, it was this, this, and this, and you're like, oh, I guess you got to talk to the locals, right, to figure that stuff out. Yeah, and I mentioned this, but I'm really excited about this whole part of the trip, this leg of the trip, having the drones, because really, like, these are huge treks. These are like multi-day treks that are, you know, between 20 and 30 kilometer hikes.
And it's free range. So I know Machu Picchu, they don't let you fly a drone. Again, it's safety. They don't want anything happening to the place, whatever.
Right.
But these places are just like out in the wilderness. They take a lot of time to get there, but you can see for miles. And the drone that we have has like a 20 kilometer range, but you just need that line of sight. And this is exactly what it's meant for, is you can
Big
fly that
spaces.
thing 20 kilometers away.
Yeah.
And just get views of the entire mountains. Yeah. Which will be very cool.
Yeah. So again, don't forget to follow us on YouTube, because you'll be able to see all these really cool drone stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty remote place. I've heard tons about the glaciers there, the hot springs, glaciers, because you're so high up, right? You're going to end up seeing lots of glacier action because of the altitude. Lots of hot springs up there, and lots of alpaca herds, which, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we are going there in their winter.
Yes. Yeah. It'll end up being like a 25 during the day and like 0 at night.
Because of the tilt of the flat earth. No.
Right. Exactly. 100%. That's why. So yeah, the mountains.
The tilt of our globe causes the southern hemisphere to be faced farther away from the sun. And that's why it's cold there and it's hot here.
Yeah, totally. Are you fighting with flat earthers right now? In the middle of the podcast?
No, it always just comes up on my Facebook. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, these mountains are crowned with glaciers. Like I mentioned, they feed into rivers and support entire valleys. And it's a place where you can witness the effects of climate change up close, which I'm sure we're going to hear lots about. Also, really great spots for hot springs. We're excited. We're doing a 3-day natural thermal bath excursion while we're there in Pachanta. Did I say that right? Pachanta. That's where we're staying. Surrounded by alpine views and alpacas everywhere. Looks really great. Yeah, like I said, lots of alpaca herds there, and llamas. And vicunas, which I just started reading about. They're kind of like miniature alpacas. They're like even smaller than alpacas. They look really cute. Yeah, so you see a lot of like that type of animal in the mountains. I think a lot of the feared animals and scared animals that people talk about in Peru, like we're not going to have anything to do with. Like we're not in that. That's why it makes Peru really cool, because they have like the beach, the coast, the Amazon, and then obviously the Andes mountains that run through it.
Yeah, really the only thing you worry about in the Canadian mountains are bears or Bigfoot. And
maybe they're afraid of that too.
I don't think they have bears there, right?
Nope, no bears. Yeah. They're all just like goat type of animals.
Yeah.
I don't know what that animal's called, but like
I think
like a goat.
I think the biggest predators there are like the eagles. And
I was going to
birds.
say the birds are insane there. The biodiversity in the flying animals is crazy. But a lot of the mountain animals are just, goats, lambs, rams, and alpacas, llamas. Herding animals.
Yeah, so
herding animals, yeah.
So this is going to be really cool. Because these places are so remote, the sky is very dark. We're going to be staying in a couple places that are just like there'll be 2 or 3 little houses just
middle of
in a
nowhere.
valley
Yeah.
somewhere. There's nothing
Yeah,
there.
the one place they advertise, they're like, we have to feed you. There's nowhere to eat.
Yeah.
We're like, all right.
Which I'm excited about too.
Yeah,
to get,
their food's
like,
going to be great.
yeah.
Sure.
And I kind of, you never know what it's going to be like, but maybe they'll let us help out with their, day-to-day
Activities.
life,
Yeah.
yeah,
Work on the farm.
for sure.
Help shear the alpacas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, our kids will be so excited.
But yeah, so because it's so remote, at night the sky is unbelievably clear and offers amazing stargazing. So our 5-year-old son is obsessed with planets and space right now.
Yeah.
And they say you can see like the Milky Way from like one end of the sky to the other, and it's just going to be incredible sky with no light pollution.
Yeah. I know. Part of me, we're only there for about 5 days, and I'm worried that the kids are going to be like, I want to stay longer. Because this part, this Ausangate part was kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to decide, right? How remote do you want to get?
Yeah.
How far away do you want to get from civilization? I'm guaranteeing none of these people are speaking English. Not a lick of English will be happening in this area.
Well, it's funny too. Like, I've looked at these ruins so much before that I'm like, no, why are we leaving the ruins? But at the same time, I love the mountains too. So it'll be great to see both.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And like I said, these places will be really great for the drone.
Yes.
Because it'll be big open and no people or places. So, and we're only doing like a 5-day stint. We're doing 3 days in Yurkos and then 3 days in Ausangate. So it'll be great. It'll be relaxing. We can go in the hot springs.
Yep.
It'll be cool.
So yeah, there's a festival that they do annually at the base of Ausangate Mountain. It's called Koyariti,
which is 15,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah. So it's one of the most important Andean pilgrimages. So people will come from all over the place. They'll do their pilgrimage to this town. I think there's like a temple at the base of a glacier or something like that.
Yeah, yep.
And they have dancing. They do glacier climbing. There's everything what you would expect at a festival. But again, this one is very deep rooted with a very long tradition of doing this, which will be... I think it happens in June.
Yeah, it's between June 6th and the 10th, depending on
their like lunar calendar.
Yeah,
I believe.
Exactly. Yeah, they're following like astrological calendars. Yeah.
And then out in there you just have wild, untouched beauty. So the Inca Trail can be pretty touristy. Ausangate is just rugged and remote, and so it'll be beautiful just to get some raw natural footage of mountains and just the beauty of that place.
Yeah, the Andes is, I mean, any mountain range is wonderful, but the Andes is really cool. Like just the rippling in the mountains looks so nuts. So I'm excited for that very quiet leg of the trip. And then into the chaos of Machu Picchu.
Yeah, Machu Picchu. Well, I don't know if you haven't heard of it. I don't know.
Look it up.
Yeah, most
Do you
people
live
have
under
heard
a
of it.
rock?
Exactly.
Do you live under 100-ton rock?
Yeah. So Machu Picchu is one of the 7 wonders of the world as well.
And they call it the lost city of the Incas because it really wasn't, even like when people started traveling into Cusco and discovered Cusco, it was still like hundreds of years later that they discovered Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
So the way you see the building on top of the foundations in Cusco and even in Pasac in the Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu, there's none of that. It's literally just the original megalithic foundation blocks.
Yeah, Machu Picchu came as a surprise to a lot of people, and it was only rediscovered in 1911 by an American explorer, Hiram Bingham.
Hiram Bingham.
Yep. And but it's like this lost, exactly, it's a lost city in the mountains, and the size of it is impressive. It was able to house many people. They probably lived and thrived and grew everything they needed up there. And again, they're using their ancient Incan masonry, so they call it ashlar masonry, where the stones are just cut to fit perfectly with no mortar, and they're so tight you can't fit a piece of paper between it. So I've seen pictures in some of the the Incan stonework at Machu Picchu looks like the later Incan stuff, which is kind of more of the stacked rock style and mortar. But we'll kind of see. Like I haven't been there. I've only seen pictures.
There still was like from the 1900s to like the 1950s where they were building on it before it became like a preserved site. And they were doing like, just the field stone with mortar in between. But those are just like how they built like
they're like modern renovations of the site.
Maybe it's like how they filter people through, like they'll keep barrier walls around, like that kind of stuff. But no, like the actual original Inca foundation, or again, like I said, I think it's pre-Inca as well, but anyways, the old ancient stuff is untouched and they haven't built on top of it.
Yes,
it's just like extra little walls and stuff that you'll see around Machu Picchu that are done in that like more modern 1900s stone and mortar.
And again, this might sound super boring for some people, but this is like one of the things that I'm the most excited to see, because as a builder, I've heard so much about this. And when I thought I was going to see that when we went to Chichen Itza.
Right.
And then Chichen Itza.
It's field stone with tiles on it.
Exactly. Chichen Itza was amazing, but I could still understand how people our size and,
could construct
our brain power constructed this.
Yeah.
It was this rough stone structure that was
like the calendar
tiled
and
to look
stuff
beautifully. And I was like, I understand that. I know you can build a wall and you can tile it nicely and flatten it and then it looks good.
Right.
But this Incan work is just another level. Like the finished product is just these gargantuan stones that are just perfectly cut.
And Machu Picchu is really exciting because it was untouched, right? Like during the Spanish conquistadors, there was, so much destruction because they were just, doing whatever they wanted to do, right? They're probably, who knows, right? We don't know, but my guess is there wasn't any people lying around at this point. They found these sites and they were totally empty. There wasn't any like living civilization happening. So there wasn't any like, there wasn't war. There wasn't pushback. There was people living in Machu Picchu when they found it.
Oh, not Machu Picchu.
No, not exactly. That's what I mean. So like nobody was living there at the time where like, who knows what was happening in Cusco, whether people were living there or not.
Cusco, they were.
Right, but still, like, that's like indigenous people also found the site, started living in it, and then the Spanish came in and started like doing whatever they wanted to do and claimed it for themselves.
That was another statistic. I think Cusco is one of like the longest inhabited cities like through time. Continuous habitation of different peoples. Right.
And then there's more than 150 different structures within the site, consisting of, again, these are just assumptions, but they seem to be like temples, homes, terraces, ceremonial spaces, fountains. It seems to be divided into two different places because some of them, what they consider would be like the places where they were living and their temples to be smaller areas. And then they have kind of these bigger areas, that they are guessing. Again, these are all just, guesses that it was more like an agricultural, like where they would have been using terraces to grow food. Do farming and agriculture. And then obviously again they're assuming that these are all like kind of worship areas, or like more, my guess is more like it's studying astronomy, so astronomical purposes, where they've built some of these buildings. And the only reason that most people guess that it is because there's a lot of buildings that are like positioned similar to Chichen Itza, where they're built positioned to be displaying different shadows and growth and whatever, and tracking solstices and equinoxes. So again, it looks like they were positioning their buildings to be tracking different like sun cycles and calendars, which again, if you think of like any human civilization, they always need to know like, okay, when's spring coming? When do we need to plant all these seeds? When do I need to harvest this food because winter's coming? So I think for it to be like an astrological tracking device of some of these structures, that just makes sense to me. And that's the guess. And then we kind of touched on this a little bit. I think when everyone's saying to me, oh, you're gonna see all these beautiful animals, the monkeys and the birds and me saying to them, we're really not going to see any of those things. Like, we're in the Andes, it's mountain. We're going to see like, the goats and the herding animals that live on mountains that can handle mountain life. Oh, look at that. It does say bears.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Black or brown, does it say?
No, it says spectacled. I don't know, including spectacled bears.
Okay.
Orchids and hundreds of, the bird species I think are going to be the biggest. So anyways, people seem disappointed when I tell them that there's not going to be all this, but that's the reason why we don't have to be like, nervous about the animals that are there. Like going into the Amazon is frightening.
Yeah, jungle is another story.
Thank you. Like I just don't have the interest in, coming face to face with animals like that.
I mean, I would do it, but I would definitely have to go with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Even just the bugs, right? Like where we're going, there's no bugs. They said like there's mosquitoes.
Yeah, where isn't there mosquitoes?
Right? But like anything else, like you don't get these like crazy spiders, tarantulas, centipedes, cockroaches, none of that. They don't have any of that in Cusco or Machu Picchu. So
yep, too high. And yeah, that Machu Picchu sits at about 7,970 feet above sea level, which is crazy because that's significantly lower than Cusco.
Yeah.
Which is the city that we're staying at regularly. So we are actually going downhill to go to the city in the mountains.
But, we're just going lower and lower.
It's amazing when you see Machu Picchu. It's just something out of this magical storybook that it's just this city which is just sitting atop the very peak of this mountain. And when you look around, there's just valleys and other mountains all around you. It's magnificent. But then Cusco is actually even higher in the mountains than that.
Yeah, I'm really nervous about altitude sickness.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We did some hiking in Colorado, so we actually have been at 10,000 feet above sea level, and I didn't notice any difference.
I didn't feel great, but I was also pregnant with Phoenix.
We did a pretty good hike too.
Yeah,
so you were
it was
pregnant.
Like 3 hours,
we hiked
3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we our age hasn't
made us
caught
weak.
up with us or something.
This is where we find out. I think too, like it's nice because we're going for a month. So sometimes, when you're traveling and you only have a week and you're trying to do all the things, like if you feel like crap,
I think that's
you try to ram everything into.
Yeah, they have there's a 10-day tour that I've talked to 3 or 4 people that went on that one. And
starts
you in Lima, takes you to all the cool spots, and you're just like bussing and hiking and then bussing and hiking and bussing and hiking.
Yeah.
And it's this nonstop thing to try and see everything in this short period of time because you really can't do it even in a regular week-long vacation like you would normally do.
Yeah.
So they do this 10-day one, and a lot of people end up sick on the 3rd or 4th day because it's just so exhaustive that
the altitude's that much worse because now you're exhausted and you're dehydrated and you're hiking so much. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad, especially that we're with the kids, that we're taking our time.
We're taking our time for sure, and I think that's going to make all the difference.
Yeah, I hope.
So yeah, Machu Picchu is accessible by train or by trek, so you can take you can hike the Inca Trail, and I would have been 100% down to do that
it's like
one.
A 6-day multi-hike
we are going with our 5 and our 9-year-olds, so we will have children the whole time. So I think we're going to take the bus up the road, and the
train from Cusco to Aguascalientes, which is at the base of Machu Picchu. It's the city that's at the base of it. Is a 4-hour train ride, and then it's about a 30-minute bus ride up the mountain to see Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
And then we'll still push those kids for 5 hours of hiking, but it'll just be in the ground. So if they decide they're gonna sit and pick daisies, then they can, and we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, once we're up there, I think it'll be good. Yeah.
It's kind of down actually. So they drive you to the bus like at the top, and then the top is like where you get that like kind of picturesque. You get to see like all the foundations, the whole fortress.
And then you get to walk through it.
Then you walk down, you hike down into them things and then around, and then you can catch the bus back on. So
we might even do the hike back down. We'll see how the kids are doing.
You can do the hike back down. Our whiny kids, I'm sure, will be ready to go back.
So I think we mentioned it before that Machu Picchu was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So actually, Sacsayhuamán is a UNESCO site as well. I think we said that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But,
it means United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. That's what it stands for.
Ah, okay. But Machu Picchu is one of the 7 wonders of the world. So we
Yeah,
saw one of the wonders already. We saw
Right.
Chichen Itza. Now we're doing Machu Picchu this year. So it kind
Yeah.
of just happened. But maybe we got to see the other 5 after
That's
that.
gonna be our bucket list. We were
The
looking
7
at them today.
wonders.
I don't know if I'm that interested in the other ones.
Yeah, well, Giza. Well, yeah, that's not even on the new list though.
No, Giza's on the ancient
That's
7
the
wonders
ancient
of the world.
ones,
Yeah,
the only one left standing.
yeah.
But
There's 1,199 sites as of 2025.
I feel that I want to
UNESCO
see the
sites.
out of the way stuff. I don't want to go to the touristy ones.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we
and
are.
again, I think it's there's so much research that's been done on it, and I still think that it's just so much mystery. Like they still just really don't know how it was done and
Exactly.
what it means for our current human civilization.
That's the amazing part with all the Inca stuff, is that they didn't really have like a written language that has survived. So
Right.
everything is just looking at the rocks and looking at like what's there and just trying to piece it together.
Yeah.
And obviously, and very importantly, you're taking into account the ancient stories, but a lot of modern people will just write that off as like, oh, it's myth and it's silly or
Folklore.
whatever.
Yeah, that happens a
Where-
lot in Asia too.
Exactly. Where maybe these things are the true history,
Yeah,
and
you
maybe
they
as
come from
fantastic
something.
as it seems, maybe this is what happened, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited to try to find some people in the city that can kind of give us some some of the stories.
Yeah,
Some
so
of the
they
heritage
there's a lot of theories about Machu Picchu. Some say it was a royal retreat. Others say it's a sacred religious site, and some even think that it was a secret agricultural lab. And it's interesting with, I guess,
all those terraces, right?
we'll get into it as we're getting into the Sacred Valley, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's crazy because like valleys between mountains tend to be really fertile grounds. They tend to be like where the water collects. But then a lot of times you get these like swamp wetland type of things, depending on where like the mountain range is and where it ends. So yeah, I could see that being a really interesting thing where you like try to go and grow some agricultural stuff or see like what kind of things grow the best, because you're going to get the most sunlight in those locations at the top of the mountain, where like maybe in the valleys you're not getting the same amount of sun. I don't know, I'm just going from like a botanist perspective.
So do we want to take a break? We're actually up on an hour.
Holy, we said we were going to keep this under an hour. We got stuff to do. We got packing to do.
Yeah.
We're actually going to pack because we're leaving in like 3 days. So,
Yeah. So I say
All right,
we take a
let's
quick
take a break. Yep.
and then we'll be back with the Sacred Valley.
All right.
We'll be back. All right, we are back. We are talking about our trip to Peru, which we are kind of preparing for and not really sure what to expect. But yeah, so the next place that we are stopping is the Sacred Valley. So what were you saying about the terraces?
I just thought that, yeah, like the terraces might be their way of like leveling out for gardens. So when you're building a garden, for 2 reasons, you kind of want flat ground. Like you want your agriculture, and like it'd be a good way to like test seeds or something, right? Like maybe they were doing like early agricultural testing on these terraces.
Right. So
Yeah.
that is
Especially
actually
on the top of a mountain.
That is pretty well documented, and we will get it into it later. But I have heard some, alternative theories that some people say, and why you have all your ancient fortresses at the top, is that this is going back to like ancient flood times when the water level had completely covered the earth. And then as the land started becoming exposed, they would terrace it, and then expand their growing, and they would grow on there, and then
Right.
the water level would lower, and then they would terrace again. Because the amazing part about the Sacred Valley is they say like it is miles and miles and miles. You can drive very long, and the entire thing is terraced. And if you tried to put together the amount of manpower and labor that would have taken, it is a construction project on just an absolutely mind-blowing scale.
Yeah.
So that's what's amazing about that. We originally were just going to drive from Cusco to Machu Picchu and then back.
Yeah.
And now we're planning to stay like a week and a half in the Sacred Valley.
Yeah, because I wanted to be located there because there's tons of sites around there too, like within Sacred
All
Valley.
through it.
There's all kinds of ruin sites. So yeah, I wanted to stay there.
All these terraces are just as ancient as the ruins, and all throughout it, as that was the way that they built, there's, you know, so-called temples and other sites all kind of spotted throughout this valley.
Right. And the place that we got in Sacred Valley, like, is amazing. It's like, oh my gosh, if you guys are looking for, I mean, if we haven't sold you yet on all the incredible things that you're going to see, the cost of living in these places are like between $30 and $50 a night for like a beautiful Airbnb. Our Airbnb in Sacred Valley is like $50 a night and has its own pool.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're looking for a vacation where you can do it really like on a shoestring, some of the ancient sites, actually Machu Picchu is like, you know, obviously the most populated and so expensive, but it's the only one that really charges for entrance.
Yeah.
All these other sites are free to go.
Yep. Yeah. So it is, it's filled with stunning archaeological sites. There is Pisac and Moray and Ollantay Tambo. Ollantay Tambo is one that I've heard a lot about, and they call it like the giant staircase, and basically it looks like a big staircase going up the mountains, but these steps are just enormous. So it's kind of just a name of it, but again, the place is just built out of this incredible ancient Incan stonework.
Well, that's also, I mean, we're not the first people to think about it, but like if some of the guesses are right, that people were just like 8 times bigger than us, then maybe it was stairs. Like maybe they were just making stairs up to like where they were going up to the top.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's hard to say.
Hard to say, but yeah, if it was, if they were trying to make stairs, you know, like how you make steps at your cottage, you're making stairs from like the top of the cottage down to the water. Maybe that's what they were doing. They were just like, that's how big their footsteps were if they were 50 feet tall or something.
We were just looking at one, and it's a crazy looking site. It's in ruins. I forget the Incan name, but it's called like the Sun Gate, or like Gate of the Gods or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's
and
in Moray.
At the very top of this mountain is just these stairs up, and right at the top there's this big stone arch, and the doorway is still there, and it's this like massively tall doorway, but when you just have a picture of that from afar, it just looks out of this world.
Yeah, looks so epic.
But yeah, also another reason we're going is just the incredible scenery. So the Sacred Valley runs between Cusco and Machu Picchu, and kind of connects the two in between. And the valley offers breathtaking views of the incredible terraced hillsides, river valleys, and then the snow-capped peaks of the mountain, which is just such like a, you know, when you're in this lush valley and you're looking up at the snow-covered mountains, it's always
it's like
such
25
a crazy
degrees
thing.
And then you're looking at snow mountains, you know?
Even going to BC feels like that, but this is just going to be a amazing landscape.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this too. I was reading about this. This is like a really famous place to get salt, pink salt. And they still do it in a really like traditional and intentional way. They use these like salt pans of Moray, is the place. Sorry, it's in the Moray salt mines. And they use salt pans. So they basically create, it's like an ancient way of harvesting salt. They create these really shallow pools that run and catch water. And the water that's running off of like similar to glacier water, or like the springs or hot springs or mineral springs, the water that's coming off is like really rich in salt water and different minerals. So they take them into these really shallow pools, and because of the altitude and because of the super dry climate, it evaporates really fast. It's like a faster evaporation, and then it creates these like kind of like a layer of salt on the top, and then they hand mine. They just take like wooden tools and they scrape off the salt and like collect it, and then and yeah, it's like a really famous like pink salt. And I think this area and specifically they I just read that they only sell it like locally, so they try to keep it like within Peruvian markets and stuff. So I'm sure we'll see it all in the markets in Cusco.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be delicious.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think that one's Maras.
Maras? Yeah.
Maras, and then there's
Salt
More.
mines. Morays, yeah, like well, there is like the ruin sites, but they also they think it's this like agricultural laboratory.
Yes. So the Moray Agricultural Laboratory, and again, I think they're what they have guessed that it is, but it's very interesting. They have
what they're doing with it right now. They're doing like the agriculture experiments right now in Moray.
Yeah.
So whether it was done before or not, I'm not sure, but they're studying microclimate.
They have these beautiful circular terraces. So normally the terrace just follows the mountain, and it's like stair steps all the way up, giving you space for growing. But all these spaces are each at their own altitude, so they can grow a whole variety of different crops all throughout these things. But then at Moray, there's these circular ones, which maybe that was just a specific shaped valley and that was the best shape to do it, and it just fit in there. Or maybe it was for a specific purpose and they were trying to grow something different, because at all these different stages, they all have their own little specific microclimate of altitude and all the things in between.
Yeah.
That they can grow different things.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see pictures of this one because it almost looks small, but you need to see a picture of somebody actually compared to the terraces, because these terraces are gigantic.
Yeah, they're so big. It's nuts.
And yeah, I guess the Sacred Valley is also an adventure playground. So there's all kinds of stuff. There's zip lining, there's hiking, there's paragliding, there's mountain biking, there's rafting along the Urubamba River. So there's a lot of opportunity for outdoor adventure lovers. We'll see how much we're able to do. Like, again, we got our kids this whole trip, so it might put a damper on some of our fun.
I think they'll love zip lining or paragliding.
Yeah, we'll see.
They like biking. I don't know if we can get some bikes there. Rent some bikes. Rafting? I'll go in the river as long as there's no snakes in there. Better not be water snakes. And I think biggest thing that I'm excited about is the language, the culture. The locals in the valley are still very traditional. They speak Huchu? Quechua. Okay. I tried a few times. I knew I wouldn't get it. They speak Quechua, so even the studying of Spanish that I've done is not going to help me there.
Yeah, I know.
But the culture is amazing, and I think it's still very maintained, right? All the ancient traditional practices, ceremonies, those kind of things are still really practiced in the valley. So yeah, I'm really excited about this part. I'm glad that we're spending some time there instead of going back to Cusco. We already kind of mentioned this. So like, just if you can visualize it, we're going from Cusco, you drive through the Sacred Valley because your mountains on either side, and that takes you up to Aguascalientes and Machu Picchu. So it ends up being kind of the gateway of trains and trekking from Cusco up to Machu Picchu. And then again, there's just kind of this like all over mystical energy that obviously you guys, our listeners already know that we're so interested in. So I think it's just going to be another way of us, intentionally practicing some of these things that we are missing here in our North American culture. We're having to travel outside of the country to get some of these old practices, seeking retreats and yoga and wellness experiences, that all these things that are happening in the Andes Mountains.
Yeah, I know one of their kind of spiritual ideas is that everything is alive. So the mountains are alive,
totally.
The Apus and the Mother Earth is alive. So they're kind of honoring these as living creatures, and all these ceremonies and things are appreciating this this like sentient
the
being
mystic.
basically.
Yeah.
And even I think the like the ancient Incan stones, people say like the stones are alive.
Totally.
and-
Yeah. I've read lots of testimonies of people saying like, well, yeah, like the trees told me, the stones told me the story about how they got there and who built them. So yeah, I think it's, again, just like kind of going back into that, like trusting your intuition and trusting, if you get a feeling, maybe it is something telling you it, instead of just like people just always think that that's like a daydream or a thought or an idea, but like maybe it is somebody else's energy or something else's energy telling you that story. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for our kids to experience that too. It's really hard to be a teacher when you haven't been taught yourself, right? So it's things that like we read on the internet and we're like trying to pass these at least just options to our kids. Like, we're not closed off to any answers. Like we want our kids to have just curiosity and interest in all the ideas and all the things that like, different people, different ways of thinking. So I think traveling is like the best way to experience that from people who are still practicing.
Do we want to see what they want to say?
Our kids?
Yeah.
About
Bring them
their
on
trip?
for like a minute before the end.
Yeah, sure. Let's see what they're most excited about.
All right.
All
One
right.
second. All right, here we go. So yeah, we're back with Annabelle and Phoenix, who are coming on this trip with us. You guys want to say hi?
Hello. Hi.
Yeah. So what are you guys excited about going to Peru?
Well, I'm really excited about going like on the high mountains because we're gonna be at like cloud level and I can touch the little fluffy clouds.
Yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm. We might be inside the clouds and then we won't even get to see anything.
We won't see anything.
I also like being in
You'll
the clouds.
just be breathing in cloud.
What will it taste like?
Well, you should know what they're made of, right?
Water.
Yes.
So it'll just be like drinking air.
Maybe.
What are you excited about, Phoenix?
The alpacas and llamas.
Yeah.
They're so fluffy. Yeah, you want to ride one?
Now you might be able to. I don't know if you get to ride them.
Well, you can ride llamas, but not alpacas. Can we rent an alpaca? I mean llama.
Maybe we can buy one.
Yeah, Mommy kept saying she's going to buy one.
It'll be like a dog for the month.
Not a dog.
No.
Are you excited about seeing all the stars in Ausangate?
Yeah, like Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah.
Felix, you can't see the Milky Way galaxy because we're in it.
How many stars are there?
It's over 1 million. Over 95 billion.
Okay.
In the Milky Way.
How many, what stars do you want to see?
I want to see Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. It'll probably be bigger because it's exploding soon, so it's
What
getting
other
bigger.
ones?
Yeah. Like maybe VY Canis Majoris.
Okay.
How big is that one? It's pretty big. Kepler 452b. I'm not sure if that's a star or a planet.
That's a planet.
Oh. Yeah. It's an exoplanet. Some are stars. Yeah. Kepler 22b is a star. But not 452b. Oh, it is?
Are you guys going to eat guinea pig?
No, maybe. I've never tried it.
I don't want to.
No.
I think it'll taste disgusting.
Tastes like pork or chicken. I probably won't eat it.
Okay.
What kind of food do you think is going to be there?
Maybe like
Cooked alligator?
Alligator? No, they don't have that there.
Don't they have alligators in the Amazon River?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we're not
but
going
we're
to
in
the
the
Amazon.
mountains.
We're going to the mountains. The
So
Andes.
how far away is that? They could probably just like ship a truck.
How long? What's the longest you guys think that you can hike?
Probably not even an hour.
Come on.
yeah, I would be able to hike for like
Or we'd have to take
for
breaks.
like
Yeah, we'll take
40
breaks.
minutes.
No.
Or 30.
4 hours.
No.
Well, we'd have to take breaks every, I don't know, 10 minutes.
You're going to have to hike for 4 hours.
We are not doing that.
I guess we have to.
You have to.
You have to.
But then we're going to be at cloud level.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
We got lots of time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned. Like I said, don't forget to follow us on YouTube and Instagram, and you'll get to see all our pictures and all the craziness. By the time this comes out, we're going to be about halfway through our trip. So
And drone
definitely,
videos.
if you hadn't already, check us out on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everyone.
Say good night.
Good night.